How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. Going to be doing a little bit of Jester King Turkey Day reviews. Outdoor, windy Turkey Day. You probably see my camera get all shaky and shit. I don't care. We're going to review it anyway. So hopefully you guys hear me. We'll see what's what. But we're going to be doing Jester King's Atrial. This comes courtesy of Dusty. He sent me off a bunch of beers the other day. And yeah, I'm going to open some stuff on Turkey Day. I didn't bring my bottle opener, so I grabbed some piece of metal. Hopefully I can open it with this thing. I should be able to. Typically, you can open anything with anything. Wow, that's hard. These spontaneously jam around are hard to get open from time to time. So what we have here is a barrel-aged sour beer re-fermented with raspberries. Not a big raspberry flavored kind of guy when it comes to general flavor, but I actually do dig it in beers. I know my wife kind of definitely doesn't dig it, so we'll see what's what. I mean, look at that. That looks like your new school kind of fruited Berliner that everybody's making. That's a fruit juice, but you have to understand, we're dealing with Jester King here. We're not dealing with somebody's going to make that kind of explodable fruit smoothie, lactose-laden kind of jam. That is crazy amount of color for a 5.5% fruited beer, but she looks all the part of a raspberry. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. I mean, raspberry, gobs and gobs of delicious raspberry. I mean, it is fresh. There's a bit of seed in there. There's a bit of like fleshiness. There's a bit of pulpiness, a huge amount of pulpiness, fleshiness, juiciness. It is blueberry through and through. Soft tartness, nothing over the top. Yeah, I mean, she smells good. She smells tasty. She smells like a really chuggable, drinkable, tasty beer. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's like a fight between sweetness and tartness, because you have that fruit juice vibe you're getting from the way the beer comes off, how sweet the beer is. It's sweet raspberry fruit juiciness, but then you get that tart portion of the show. It's kind of like you're gobbling, I've talked about this before, you're gobbling a bunch of berries up, and you get one that's sweet and one that's tart. Every now and then it's like a raspberry's really sweet or it's really tart. Blueberries, all your kind of berries run that way. And it's like you ate both at the same time, so you have that explosive kind of over the top sweetness, but nice sweetness on one end. On the other end, you have this really nice kind of tart raspberry deliciousness, all wrapped up in what is still a nice, slightly funky, slightly tart, not overly sour beer. And it just comes off beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted. I just ate turkey. I just ate Thanksgiving dinner. I wanted a bit of dessert, and this is footing the bill for me. It's not a dessert beer. It doesn't come off that way as far as sweetness, but as far as me, when it comes to sweets, I like more of a reserved sweetness when it comes to desserts, and this is kind of footing that bill very, very nicely. Again, it's just raspberries, man. Over the top raspberries, sweet and tartness on both ends. A nice dryness from that barrel. A little bit of soft vanilla. Nice dryness from that yeast also. Nice density to it. It's not thin. 5.5%. You would assume this would be much bigger beer because of how full the mouthfeel is. Tasty, delicious. I'm a fan. So yeah, I mean, this wasn't a surprise. I've heard about this beer being actually dynamite, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I went into it as blind as possible. But it's exactly what I wanted and exactly what I hoped it would be, which is a damn tasty, well done. What do I call this? It's almost like, you know, a framboise, American-born, super thick framboise, only at 5.5% though. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better fruited sours that I've had as of late? Yes. Up there, might even be King Should Have Fucked Mountain status on Mount Rushmore. It's that good. Value and availability? I actually don't know. If Dusty or somebody out there wants to let me know what's what when it comes to how much this costs and where you get it, please chime in and leave you with if you like what you like this beer in particular. If you like fruited sours, if you like framboise, lambic, those kind of beers, this is definitely going to do you proper because it's delicious and exactly what those beers, a lot of those beers want to be, but don't end up being. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys are having a good turkey day. It's probably going to be posted well beyond that, but regardless, hopefully you're enjoying something as delicious as this. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive, or Massive Beer, sorry. Beer Massive is my podcasting big. Go check that out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little fruit beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.